recognizing specialized emergency response teams that deployed to Southwest Virginia during Hurricane Helene. Chief Center.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Casey. We're certainly honored to have our partners from the National Guard here with us this evening, and I'm honored to have with me at the podium Colonel Craig Lewis, who's the State Army Aviation Officer. As our members are filing up,
come on up.
Give you a little bit of background of why we're here this evening. Over a decade ago, Chesterfield Fire and EMS began a journey to improve its capabilities to respond to serious incidents and natural disasters, during which advanced skills and specialized equipment are needed to save lives. In partnership with the Virginia Department of Emergency Management and the Virginia Army National Guard, Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 8, the Central Virginia Incident Management Team, and the Virginia Helicopter Aquatics Rescue Team, or HART program, were formed, trained, and equipped to deploy where needed on short notice. In the days before Hurricane Helene made landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida, Governor Youngkin declared a state of emergency, and the Virginia Department of Emergency Management began pre-positioning specialized response teams in areas of Southwest Virginia. As the heavy rains reached Appalachia and severe flooding began, our teams were on the front lines, not only in Virginia, but into areas of North Carolina as well. Swiftwater rescue teams from Virginia Task Force 8 searched 167 structures, assisted 82 residents to shelter in place, evacuated 49 individuals across moving floodwaters, and rescued 11 individuals and 11 pets that were in danger of drowning. The Central Virginia Incident Management Team supported emergency management professionals in Grayson County and the town of Damascus, Virginia, and later moved into the heavily damaged areas around Asheville, North Carolina, where a core team remains deployed there today. The Virginia HART team flew search and rescue missions from Wytheville to Damascus, Virginia, covering over 1,000 nautical miles of flooded area, and performed hoist rescues of 6 individuals who were trapped in fast-moving floodwaters. A second HART team was mobilized several days later and flew to Florida and performed search and rescue missions soon after Hurricane Milton caused a path of destruction across central Florida. Additionally, Dr. Alan Yee, Chesterfield's operational medical director, also deployed for nearly 2 weeks of search and rescue operations in Florida and western North Carolina in his role with Virginia Task Force 2 of FEMA's Urban Search and Rescue Program. Now let's take a look at some of the great work performed by our specialized teams.
Command, Squad 1.
Our team is a regional team comprised of Chesterfield, Henrico, Hanover, which are departments that were represented in our response. So they responded to Grayson County. They are in the Southwest Virginia region. When they got there, they found that there was a lot of devastation and a lot of infrastructure missing, and they needed more help. What our team does is help kind of get the 30,000-foot view of an incident. Whereas our boat rescue teams, our helicopter teams, they are focused on individual missions within the greater incident. So what our team provides is kind of an oversight and manages those resources from a larger perspective.
The Virginia Department of Emergency Management activated the state Swiftwater response teams, so Virginia Task Force 8, which is sponsored by Chesterfield Fire and EMS, our technical rescue team, and our scuba rescue team. We were alerted to deploy to Wythe County.
If the dam goes, we're going to go in that current.
The flooding came. When it did arrive, we were already in position. We had about 18 consecutive hours of sustained operations that we did between the planning and the actual response time in the county. Most residents that were in Wythe County told us that this was the worst flooding they'd seen in their entire lives. And when we're talking about residents that were anywhere between 50 and 80 years old that were telling us this is the worst they'd seen. So our primary missions were assist in known flooding areas, and then as the flash flooding increased, we were handling their 911 response calls. We would respond to vehicles into water. We went to houses that were being inundated by water, where water was rapidly rising. A lot of elderly that needed assistance to either be evacuated over water to safer areas or physically rescued from their houses because the water was rising too fast. When you would have large amounts of water and the debris that was involved with neighborhoods, when fences, backyards, animal pens, propane tanks, campers, these type of things are washing down the stream as you're trying to cross them to actually set up some sort of rescue system to evacuate people. Definitely challenges that we don't deal with on a regular basis. We train for, we talk about, we simulate those, but when it's actually occurring in the midst of a tropical storm, it's very humbling.
The winds had a huge effect, but I give it to those pilots up there. They kept that aircraft nice and steady the whole time. We were tasked with starting south around Damascus and heading kind of northeast, I guess, up the river. And that's when we saw our first rescue. It was an adult male and female down on some logs in the middle of the river. The female she was wearing a pink hoodie, so that stood out like night and day. You know, we saw that, circled back around, and we came up with a rescue plan and was able to effect that rescue successfully. Continued on the river and ended up finding 2 adult males in the middle of nowhere on this road. No access, they weren't going to be able to get out. It was either washed out or trees. So I sent one of the technicians down, and we ended up bringing both of them up. So this was the first time in 13 years that we have gotten activated, been deployed by VDEM, gone to the location and actually effected a rescue of live people that needed our help. Feel very good, all the hard work that many people have put into this program in training, and it showed 100%.
We came back from this deployment with 0 injuries, and that is a testament to the amount that the county supports our teams to be able to train on a regular basis. At the end of the day, we assisted in either contacting and evacuating about 90 people, 90 residences that we had in the county.
Just flying over and seeing the widespread flooding and how these people are just, I mean, they have a long road ahead of them because it's just catastrophic flooding down there, and you know, people lost everything.
There was an awe factor with Mother Nature, and the awe factor was we're in the middle of a tropical storm, heavy winds, heavy rain bands, and we're watching the creeks and the rivers rise around us as we're making these evacuations and these rescues that are occurring. The exposure that these younger members had on the team that they'll carry now through the next decade or 2 decades of their career here in fire in Chesterfield County Fire and EMS is going to do nothing but be benefit to future disasters that occur and future emergencies that occur here in the county.
As far as Chesterfield, you know, the Board of Supervisors, the county administrator, the fire chief, we've just gotten so much support from our county. So I want to thank them personally, you know, from the bottom of my heart, and I know I speak on behalf of Virginia Heart, National Guard, Virginia Task Force 8 when I say that, so thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, I present to you the members of our specialized response teams and commend them for going above and beyond the call of duty in service to others who were affected by Hurricane Helene.
Thank you, Chief Center. Yeah. Thank you. We greatly appreciate all your efforts and what you did. It was heroic, what you did. And someone mentioned the word training in the midst of that, which is so important, that you're prepared when you get there, but you're never really prepared for what you see, which is what you all saw with Hurricane Helene. Does anyone have a story they would like to share before you leave? A story or 2, if you like. I think the video was very revealing, however, but I wouldn't miss the opportunity. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. On behalf of the board and the county, we appreciate all your efforts and the continued success in your missions as you continue to go forth and make a difference here in not only Chesterfield County, but in North Carolina and, of course, in Western Virginia as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay? Thank you. You may go. Thank you.